I mean, it's amazing to read, you know, the thoughtfulness and the intelligence of these decisions that he made. I mean, what a great stage craftsperson he was. It's what he says in that great poem. He says, it's not magic, but work.
You know, when you came and said, let's do a documentary, I'm so reluctant. I never let anybody see Process because Process is clunky.
Oh, they screwed him out of his bonus?
Let go of me or I'll murder you too.
Okay.
Don't bark at me.
Don't bark. Okay. Don't bark at me, son. I got problems.
Real quick, can you, so when he goes...
Process looks like bad acting. Process is not anything you should let anybody see because it's like, show me your new building and we show you the plumbing and the sewer line, which you may be very proud of and is going to hold the building together ultimately. But it's not what you want to show people.
Why kick? Okay, yeah. Why it might hurt business.
What's the most important lesson about theater that you learned from working with Brecht?
Well, lesson number one, how important it is to view a play as a sequence of very definite short moments, like a film. You know, they go from frame to frame to frame. And even within scenes, many scenes are a sequence of short narratives, sometimes connected and sometimes not even connected completely, you know. Like a montage, really. It's very close to what Eisenstein would have called a montage.
Bird song from above, push comes to shove, soon you fall down from that grandstand and join the players in the band. Toot out that melody, wait and see.
Janine Tesori is also listening to each of the actors, and she is actually crafting the songs on the voices of the actors.
Any changes in the words?
No, not yet.
Okay.
This happens to me a lot, that I really can't write anything until I know who's doing it. It's tailor-made, it's couture in that way that it's one of a kind. And so for Meryl, I don't know if anybody could sing this after. It's really written for her.
If my soup was cold, warm, or the meat they served me wasn't succulent, back it went. It's worth the wait for nicer things. All or nothing. Next best is no good at all. Everybody makes their own luck, and I don't take orders from anybody. Bird song from above, push comes to shove, soon you'll fall down from that grandstand and join the players in the band. Who toodle out that melody? Chris, you're gonna go,
Yes.
that melody, wait and see, and then it's all downhill, it's all downhill. Your fall is God's will, better let it be.
Good. Let's just do this one more.
You want a Coke?
No, thanks.
Coke is America in a can. Why I like Coke? There are many reasons. Here's the thing Warhol said. The great thing about Coca-Cola is no matter how rich you are, you can't get a better bottle of Coke. Why is it like America in a can? It knows that whatever else you do, you have to add entertainment. That's the bubbles. One of the Brechtian techniques that I'm kind of most drawn to is that mixture of languages. Don't just use the language of one kind of art. I can make use of the mixture of languages to invite a reader to think about why and how this is being produced. Brecht's techniques really come under the heading of taking you backstage.
So you teach a class on Brecht?
I do, but it's a class on Marx and teaching Marx. I teach Brecht. I think there's a great deal to learn from Marx on how we're constructed by the world to do particular work, and we're constructed by the work we do. And I think that's true and difficult.
Normally, a key part of my existence. Today, the coffee.
I think people tend to forget it because it's humiliating that we are made by others. It's not a happy thing. I'd rather be made by God.
I'm going to talk about Marx today. For the moment, I think it's useful if we adopt the position of Marx and see what we see through that lens about what forms us. And when we're discussing Marx, what forms your personality is class, and that means how you earn your living. As we produce objects, we produce ourselves. And I'm not by any means saying Marx has all the answers, but I think he's right. This is a key element. How you work, for whom you work, has a lot to do with who you are. So class acts as a constraint in that way, even on those who we think of as a little freer from constraint because they're higher in the hierarchy.
I make props. That's my job, and that's how I make a living. I get here, and I immediately check my email. After rehearsal every day, the stage manager makes a rehearsal report, and props is always the biggest section in the rehearsal report. We always have the most notes. I look at the things that need to change right away, and then usually from 8 to 11 in the morning, 11's when they start rehearsal, I go in and as quickly as I can try to make them happy. When I was in college, actually my final dramaturgical thesis was on Mother Courage, and so I wrote a 30-page paper on it. So I was pretty excited to hear that we were doing it here. I have all these internal conflicts because I might have a very specific idea of what I think something should look like or be. I have to separate my ideas from, you know, what other people want.
I'm reminded each day by my work that my personality doesn't matter and that I am made and remade by that work for the interests and profit of others. Let me remind you again, because it will be on the exam, what does Marx mean by alienation? Your labor is taken from you. Well, actually, it isn't taken from you, you sell it. But the way that you sell it will make others more powerful over you.
What kind of a hat do we want to give him? The best one was the black beret, don't you think? No, it's just not happening. What are we doing?
George said we shouldn't make any specific references.
We can have this one.
We should try to sort of fuse everything.
We'll do one of these things. Like a Latin American guerrilla.
You know, so that you don't think of a specific historical moment ever in the play. So I sort of plunged into various picture books to sort of see what I can extract from World War I, the Civil War, Vietnam.
I just want to get these done so I don't have to look at this gruesome book much longer.
How are the pens?